The Star Residence Q&A, guys, finally got released. It's 4:57 a.m. Oh, never mind. They posted this at 4:30 a.m. Okay. Let's see. On May 15th. Wow, I forgot it's been that long since they announced the date, huh? Or not date. They announced like Star Residence coming over to global. Almost been 2 months. Wow. The long anticipated anime MMORPG from Shanghai Bakura Network Technology is officially coming to the West via publisher A Plus in 2025. Nice. Hype hasn't stopped building since. I don't know about the hype hasn't stopped. Well, it has been building a little bit, but there hasn't been a whole lot of marketing as of late. I mean, I think we're just all waiting for the beta, the specific beta date, and then I'm pretty sure the marketing is gonna start building up a lot to keep the momentum going. And true to its community-driven development ethos, Bakura extended a rare opportunity to the game's largest English-speaking fan hub, SR Database. Quick shout out to the database. Through a series of curated questions sourced from the Discord server, players got the chance to directly engage with the team behind the game. Roy, Bakura's founder and seasoned game developer who's been a driving force behind MMO titles like Dragon Nest Mobile and Ragnarok Origin. Two that I didn't know that Roy produced. I don't think that actually shows on the website. Even go on to say the hype died down a bit once he said China was getting it now instead of the previous mentioned global release. I think it'll pick it back up once you guys see the gameplay in the July 17th release. Right now we're just twiddling our thumbs. Not too much to announce at this time. Alright, yeah, answered the community's most burning questions and didn't hold back. Alrighty, so what are the questions here? Question 1, MMOs nowadays try to cater to every type of player, PvE, PvP, role players, casuals, etc. But this often leads to a lack of proper direction and focus, resulting in none of the content reaching its full potential. In the case of Star Residence, who is the main target audience and which content areas will you primarily focus on? Yeah, so this was a big question for a lot of the community. Like, I remember there was a lot of discussion about, can we get PvP in the game? Can there be more of like this kind of content for casuals and like hardcore, or especially hardcore? Like, can we get like more harder content? I think just harder content and PvP was like two main focal points that community members were talking about. Let's see, many members of our team, including myself, are anime enthusiasts. Combined with my years of experience as an MMO producer, I've always dreamed of creating MMO with a distinct anime aesthetic. We know this is an ambitious vision because today's market lacks games that truly cater to both anime enthusiasts and traditional MMO players. Right. That's exactly who we're building this game for, players who, like us, love deep MMO experiences and vibrant anime-style worlds. The game's core gameplay will focus on a PvE battle and casual gameplay hybrid model. That said, as we continue updating the game and gathering player feedback, we may expand to other areas into the future. So what this basically means is that there will definitely not be any PvP at launch, first off. And then second off, you should not expect there to be like really challenging content at the early game, like at the start of the game's release. Maybe after like a couple months, you know, when people start getting used to how the game works, you know, everyone started getting geared, and maybe it'll start pushing into like really tough content. But right now it's just gonna be like a relaxing kind of thing. No like savage or ultimate FF14 style raids yet, but then I definitely can see that happening later down the line, like maybe like Q4. I have a Q&A link for you, but it's in Japanese. Did you want to read it? Not right now. I'm just gonna read the IGN one first. Question 2, sorry. Quarter 2. Monetization is one of the biggest concerns for Western players. Yep, 100%. I think every video that I've made on my YouTube so far, there's always been like a couple questions that talked about the monetization. The monetization is going to be the big deal breaker. Generally, players don't want others to gain a reasonable progression advantage by spending money. Specifically, the Chinese beta tests revealed that the game has a premium to in-game currency conversion without any daily or weekly restrictions, similar to many recently criticized MMOs in the West. Are you planning to adjust this for the Western community? If so, what is your approach? Yeah, hopefully they change a lot. As mentioned earlier, our game focuses on a PvE battle and casual gameplay hybrid model, so we certainly don't want a pay-to-win environment here. While we do offer pay-for-convenience options, none of these provide exclusive advantages. Okay, so I don't like the term pay-for-convenience. I feel like that's a term that you use to dance around the actual term, which is pay-to-win. Like, I think pay-to-win and paid-for-convenience, in my opinion, right? Everyone has their own definition of the two. I think, honestly, though, that pay-to-win and pay-for-convenience is the same thing. None of these provide exclusive advantages, so what they mean is that there won't be stuff that is only purchasable in the cash shop. Everything that you can get through swiping can also be obtained in-game. All progression items can be earned through gameplay, and the trading center ensures that even paid boosts indirectly benefit the broader community by circulating resources. These systems are designed to help players with limited playtime or those joining later to catch up rather than creating an imbalanced situation. We believe this approach will create a relatively balanced gameplay experience and fostering a fair ecosystem and healthier in-game economy. We also recognize that players may want to support the development team through these optional purchases, allowing us to continue creating more high-quality content for everyone. So, I mean, I get where they're coming from, because MMOs are a grind, right? You know, what's the one thing what's the one reason players don't want to join back into MMOs that are already released in their region? It's because they feel like they're going to be so far behind that it's not worth it, right? So what do these players do to catch up? Usually they would have like options to swipe to catch up to the player base that has been playing for like months or like even a couple years even. I mean, there's also it's also like complemented with like catch-up systems as well, but then I mean those only take you so far usually. So just being able to purchase items, progression boost, gear progression, helps newer players, you know, catch up to veterans. And also, you know, this also is talking about people that work 9 to 5 jobs or like only have a few hours every day to play. It allows them to actually still play the game without having to farm like 10-15 plus hours a day. It kind of helps them too. And let's see, I mean, overall, I mean, I agree with this. Outside of the pay to win, pay for convenience separation, I think it's pretty much the same thing. Question 3, content is another critical factor. MMOs, what kind of vertical progression related content can casual and hardcore players currently expect to engage in BP Star Resonance? We believe combat and progression are the heart of the MMO experience, so we've designed these systems to cater to all types of players. These extensive iteration we've created, or through extensive iteration, we created a battle system that's easy to pick up for newcomers, but deep enough to challenge veterans. Okay, yeah, that one's really important, guys. So, like, many players that have experienced or played a little bit of like Star Resonance, or they've observed Star Resonance gameplay, they see how simple the classes are. They're not wrong. The classes are a lot more easier to play, and I think that's way better for long-term health for MMO is for the classes to be easier to pick up for new players. But then you still have to like worry about rotations, at least for DPS classes. You still have to worry about rotations to kind of min-max your ceiling damage. So I mean, there's still potential there to challenge veterans, and then also you still have to, you know, respect patterns and mechanics in raids, and that will also kind of mess with your damage if you just get hit by everything you can't, and like you're just dodging everything, walking around way too much, you know, losing out a lot of uptime on your damage. But then I think having easy classes to play, or like all the classes being pretty easy to play, is probably better for the long-term health. For hardcore players, we have built a robust PvE ecosystem, from class customization to dungeons and open world encounters. As players grow stronger, they'll test their skills in high stakes battle. See, this is what I mean, like high stakes battle. So they mentioned here that it's just going to be more casual content first. Yeah, it's going to be more casual gameplay first, but then they hint as players grow stronger, they'll test their skills in high stakes battle. So if it's still going to be casual gameplay right now, but I'm pretty sure later on they're going to expand to like even more challenging content from what this statement is implying, including 5-player dungeons and 20-player raids, all while earning exciting rewards. Each season will introduce fresh content like new classes, dungeons, and PvE modes to keep the experience dynamic. Awesome. For casual players, we're crafting a relaxed social playground with features like house building, which is already being tested in the June 20th NDA test, and life skills, fishing, etc. Yeah, fishing is not a life skill, it's an entirely different activity. And we are also planning seasonal events for social play. Nice. Over time, we'll add more social mini games, aiming to create a vibrant world that feels like a shared amusement park for everyone. I wonder what the seasonal events are. Is that the mount racing? Because they have mount racing in the NDA test. Or are they talking about because they said social play, so I don't think they're talking about like season pass, armband stuff, and the affixes in dungeons. They're I think they're talking about just either some of the mini games that they have already in the NDA, or they're planning or they're like planning something in the future. That's my guess. Our goal is to create a playground where every player, whether competitive or casual, can find their own adventure. Yeah, I was like thinking about it, I'm like, they want to focus on PvE battle and casual gameplay. Okay, yeah, I guess this kind of just expands on that idea. How they're gonna give more to like hardcore and then casual gameplay down here. Okay. Question 4. Many MMOs tend to introduce more and more systems over time. This often leads to a high barrier of entry to the game and overwhelms the active player base. I mean, we're literally playing this game. That question is literally the problem that one of the main problems that I'm experiencing with Aura Kingdom Impact, guys. And is that there's so many different systems. I mean, that's cool and all. There's like dozens of different systems that I've just been blasted in my face in this past, like, I don't know, 4 hours I've been playing this game. Holy, am I so lost. I'm so confused. I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. But like, if I kept thinking about what every system did, I'd probably be like severely overwhelmed. So I completely agree with this. To avoid this, it is much simpler to expand the current existing systems instead of adding new ones. What is your design philosophy when considering the future development of the game? We are intentional about keeping progression systems streamlined. Our philosophy is simple. Whether you're a new player just starting out or a veteran returning after a break, we want you to jump back in effortlessly, excuse me, without cramming a ton of new mechanics. That's why we focus on expanding existing systems, adding depth, new goals, and fresh twists, rather than piling on entirely new mechanics. Oh, okay, so they're talking not only like game systems, but they're also talking about like dungeon mechanics. Long term, this keeps the experience fresh but familiar, ensuring that players always have meaningful ways to grow without feeling overwhelmed. It's good to hear. Let's see, question 5. MMOs often face the issue of mandatory progression-related content being too grinding, difficult, or time-consuming for the majority of the player base. Easing the difficulty for progression-related content, adding social-focused content after progression, and including optional but challenging content for those seeking a challenge seem to be an effective solution. What is your current stance on this, and how do you plan to address it? Making core progression both enjoyable and accessible has always been one of our top priorities. We're adopting a seasonal approach, not only to introduce fresh content, but also to revitalize existing activities with thematic updates, ensuring even veteran players find new excitement and familiar gameplay. We're also deeply committed to enhancing social experiences. Social interaction is the heart of the game, and every piece of content is designed to bring players together. After all, the most memorable moments often emerge from player-driven interactions. I would say some of the most. I wouldn't say, or I guess most is also fine. To foster this, we're building a more diverse game ecosystem that caters to different playstyles, whether it's PvE, casual gameplay, or relaxed social activities. For example, we have invested significant effort into developing the housing system. While it was not available in the test server yet, we'll continue expanding it through seasonal updates, enriching its depth, variety, and overall appeal to strengthen player connection. So what they're saying, the test server, by the way, guys, they're talking about the April server in this one. Not to be confused with the June 20th test server that's under NDA. I really hope, by the way, that they're not like, because they said it in the first question, right? They want to focus on PvE battle and casual gameplay, right? But I don't know, something about a lot of these answers at the bottom here. It seems like they're still trying to like branch to many different like play styles. I'm a little mixed. You know, I'm hopeful that there's gonna be a lot of like different kinds of gameplay elements or gameplay like activities that you can do, but then a little scared that they might be branching off into too many different places. But we'll see. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Question 6. The community would love to see the game include content that enriches exploration, similar to timed or dynamic events present in other MMOs. These are unscheduled events that randomly appear throughout the world while bringing the community together. Are there any plans for such content? Yeah, so if you guys don't know, this is talking about exploration. With exploration, it wasn't that like there wasn't really much to do in exploration. You had field bosses, which were the elite and world bosses, and then you had like the monster log, and then you had little like random chests that you find around the world. There was like hundreds of those in the world, but then there wasn't really much to do in the open world besides that. I mean, there's like, I guess there's like a couple of fishing spots, but I mean, you're not really exploring you're not really like walking around the world that much. As fellow MMO players, we absolutely love dynamic events like these. They're a fantastic way to encourage exploration and spontaneous player interaction. However, with our current development resources, we are prioritizing refining the game's core experience first. That said, we are actively evaluating the potential for unscheduled world events and similar content in future updates. That's a little upsetting that they're not going to really build into exploration. Surprisingly, exploration is like a big topic for a lot of like the casual audience. I like, you know, as someone that plays MMOs like to like a really try hard level, I don't really think about those. But then if you guys remember, in for those that were here 2 months ago, I interviewed a few people actually that was playing the beta, and some of their like responses regarding exploration, they're like, yeah, exploration is a big thing in like in their opinion. Like I think when I asked that question, literally every person that I interviewed, they said exploration is like a big thing, and then they like even went into specifics on what they can improve on in exploration, because like they really like to like, you know, go around the open world. They don't like it to feel like it's like really dead. And they did critique Blue Protocol Star Resonance's exploration to be a little dead. They like to see like more stuff like this, like dynamic events similar to like Fates in Final Fantasy 14. So a little upsetting, but it's not the end of the world. It seems like there is a possibility still. Now it's like on the table for them. Question 7. Undoubtedly, the game's player base will include many anime enthusiasts. Can we expect collaborations with anime franchises in the future? Well, heck yeah. Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. I didn't even need to read this answer. As a anime-inspired MMO, our game naturally aligns with anime and manga IPs. We are also excited about future collabs and are confident about the SR potential in this aspect. The real question is, which IP should we team up with first? Our community team will soon launch surveys to gather your voices and preferences, because we want these partnerships to reflect what you truly love. It's gonna be freaking Sword Art Online, guys. 100%. That's gonna be our very first collab in Star Resonance. There's just no way. What other IP would you want in here first? I can't really think of one that's not Star Resonance. I mean, like, look at the banner. Look who's on this. Who is this? and then when you saw the PV trailer like a couple days ago, guess who voice acts the dual wielding axe person that also has black hair? It's gonna be SAO, guys. Damanchi and Frieren. I don't know. I know Friiren's a popular anime, but I feel like people like reference Konosuba more in Blue Protocol. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I can see Frieren through there. Yeah. Oh, solo leveling on. Maybe. I would say Frieren or Konosuba would be the next one behind SAO. Question 8. Currently, direct player-to-player trading is not possible, and gear cannot be traded in the auction house. However, the shared warehouse system allows players to have a shared space with a limited number of friends for trading, which is especially beneficial for the life skill profession aspect of the game. Unfortunately, only a limited number of life skill materials can be placed in the shared warehouse. You plan to address this limitation? Okay, let me read this answer first, and then I'll go over my opinion on the shared warehouse from my experience. At the current stage, we're not planning to lift these restrictions. Sorry, I had to take a pause there after reading that. Past experience showed that allowing ability enhancing items and shared storage led to players feeling forced to create multiple alternative accounts. That's why we have limited such items while still maintaining a system where friends can share resources. We want to encourage cooperations without creating pressure to grind on alts. And that's where it stops. Okay, so the shared warehouse system, really bad. I'm just gonna go straight to the point. It's really bad. I don't think it was used for its intended purpose that they listed, which is to maintain a system where friends can share resources. I don't think I've heard of a single person that has ever used the shared warehouse to share resources with their friends. And even if that idea ever occurred in someone's head, it would have immediately just flatlined, because the moment you start interacting with the shared warehouse system, you would realize how limited you can share resources, or how limited the resources sharing is. So there, you can only withdraw and deposit so many items per day and per week, and then you can't even transfer most of the you can't transfer a lot of the life skill profession items. Actually, it was only stuff like at least this was the case for beta, for April beta. It was fishing items, the fish themselves, it was food and drink items, dyes, and then I think there was one more I'm missing, but then it was also not a really that foraging items, botany. Those were the items that you could transfer over, and it wasn't really that game changing at all. I mean, you can still get resources from your alts that way, but it's very, very limited, since you can only take out withdraw so many items per week per character. If you're trying to boost your main character through a shared warehouse system, it's not really gonna work with too many characters. Like at most, you'll probably just run one character. That's it. and that alt character will just be life skilling, and then it'll transfer the life skill materials over, and then that's it. That's all you do with your alt character. And again, it's not really that game breaking either. You're not going to be that far ahead compared to someone that doesn't use alts, because most of the items, or pretty much all the items in the shared warehouse, are almost useless. I say almost because they could still build into some pretty useful food items, but it's not really that game changing at all. Very minor. So and I have not heard any like additional changes to it from the current NDA that's happening, outside of the location of it. The location of the storage is now moved. It's no longer only in the guild hall, which is great, because before you had to not only be friends with the other person to access their shared warehouse, and also be online, by the way, to get invited. You also have to be in the same guild. So now they moved it over to housing, so now you have to only be sharing the same like house, I guess. I think that's how it works. I think there still needs to be a lot to be done for a shared warehouse system to actually be useful, because right now it's just this shouldn't even be used for a casual player. Actually, like the only people that are going to actually interact with the shared warehouse system are going to be like sweaty people. The casuals, they'll see this shared warehouse system and they're going to realize how awful the limitations are, and then they're just not going to really bother. Okay, question 9. The current life skill system heavily favors players who have the time to create and play alternative characters, as life skill energy is character specific. Most casual players don't have the time or interest in creating alternative characters. How do you plan to address this and similar issues related to this in the future? Yeah, many people don't like creating alt characters in MMOs, and that's perfectly fine, because it's like you just want to play your main character, right? Like Like even me, like I feel like everyone, no, not only me, right? I feel like everyone just wants to play only their character, right? Like you know, most people only make alternative characters to boost their main character. They don't want to just they don't want to make alternative characters because they love making alternative characters. It's usually for a purpose. Okay, so and let's see the answer. We actually do not encourage multi-character gameplay. Our shared storage system is intentionally designed this way to avoid grinding on alts. We hope the players create alternative characters to experience different character body types and gender, not optimization for the main character. Okay, I feel like they should sell gender swap tickets or potions, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. They should sell these because right now you cannot change your gender in Start Resonance, which is unfortunate because, you know, some people want to, some people like that, and I feel like that's just free money. New info, eMonk? Yeah, it's this is all the dev Q&A. We worked the life skill system to optimize the experience for casual players and players who are dedicated to life skills. Here's what we've done so far. Make energy only affect trade, allow free gathering and crafting without energy cost, and add more recipes so dedicated life skill players won't hit progression walls. Hold on. Let me ask a question in a different server. I'm gonna cut this part out. I need to ask if I can mention something. Okay, I got my answer. I mean, it is nice that they allow you to progress life skills without energy costs. I think that's pretty huge because a common complaint was that, like, you know, there was like several levels that you had to get through, but you're time gated. But then now with these changes, you can still progress, but you're not time gated. You don't have to wait until the next day for your energy to come back, and you can still progress your levels, which is kind of important for later content. You want to have like another way to, you just want to have a way to level up other life skills without feeling like, oh yeah, and yeah, this ties into my other point, which is like the back in the beta test in April, players felt like they had to only prioritize one life skill because there was like 8 different life skills back in April. But then because you can only get EXP from energy, you normally only prioritize like 1 or maybe even 2 life skills, and then you just neglected the rest of the other life skills, so you can't even work on them. But now with this change, you're able to work on the other life skills without feeling like you're bounded to a couple. So that's nice. Multi-character gameplay, our shared. Okay. So yeah, that's the whole reason why they have it set like this, like all limited and stuff, because they want to discourage alts. But I feel like it already heavily discourages alts by limiting what items can be in the shared warehouse. Like I think that one handicap right there is already enough to discourage people making alts. Yeah, I just think that they've put way too many restrictions on the shared warehouse where not like it like the purpose has already been filled where it discourages alts, but now it's too restrictive, and now casual players can't even use it that well. Like you're pretty much discouraging casual players from even using the shared warehouse system because of how many restrictions that they implemented into it. So yeah, again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the shared warehouse system. I honestly hope that they do like revamp it, because right now it's just way too restrictive. Oh wait, what is this? I do hope they talk about the server infrastructure and how it works. They seem to want everyone on a mega server, but to keep things nice, there will be servers close to or local to the launch countries. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna work yet. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think global beta will be a indicator of what to expect for the for launch, because I say that because the global beta client is a standalone client, so it's completely separate from global launch client. So meaning that anyone, like you can be in any region. Like for example, if you're like in a region locked area, you can actually play the global beta since it's a standalone client. So I want to know the answer to that question too, but I think that question is a lot more further into the future. right. Question 10. The auto combat system currently allows players to stand in place and attack nearby monsters with skills in random order. This does not include auto pathing or full auto combat, which is great. However, the MMO audience in the West strongly dislikes automated combat systems and is concerned about this feature being expanded, potentially trivializing combat and breaking immersion if many players are seen AFK farming simple monsters. Do you plan to adjust the system for Western audience to avoid these issues? I think just automated anything is just really bad. Like for example, in this game, you're able to just instant transmission to a lot of places. Like sometimes they don't even have this loading screen. You press the button, and then you're just inside the NPC that you need to talk to, or you're inside the monster that you need to fight. I think that was like kind of jarring to do, to be honest. And another reason why it kind of sucks to do that is because like it removes a lot of the exploration. But like just for automated anything, let's bring back here to automated anything like combat system. I think that is kind of bad. It kind of screams like mobile game in a way to like the Western audience. So let's see what they do here. Our vision is to create a fun world for players to explore. So we have implemented auto combat and auto pathfinding in a very careful way. We want the auto function to solely reduce meaningless grind time in low difficulty areas without compromising core gameplay. For long-term MMO, some convenience features are necessary for players to handle relatively repetitive and low difficulty features. Additionally, we've strictly controlled the rewards for monster grinding, which will minimize the impact of players AFK farming. Okay, so this one's also another mixed answer in my opinion. So there's some good and some bad. So let's go over the good parts first. So they did reduce the amount of rewards from monster grinding, because that was a big focal point that people were complaining about in West, was that they see like players just AFKing, thinking like that's the meta. And I mean that kind of was for season pass points farming. You would just AFK farm the low level mobs for like hours at a time. So now they're reducing that, so you don't see players just AFKing in one spot the entire time. So I mean that is nice that they're reducing rewards from doing like automated stuff. But from this sentence, this is basically like a screw you. We are just going to add in the auto functions, because in one of the newsletters they said that they expanded the auto combat system, so that will most likely be in our version. So what they're saying is just to suck it up. It is what it is. Is mobile MOF for all? I mean, you're not wrong. They used to first be strictly only for only mobile devices, but then after the news about the PC Blue Protocol shutting down, they wanted to expand to be like the PC version. So now it's like more PC. They're trying to like shift over to like being a more standard MMO for PC. Was the auto pathing combo situation in China quite drastic, or was it akin to like BDO dummy training? Well, the auto pathing, they actually showed this in one of the interviews. I think it was one. I don't know. Wait, I'm not actually sure if they showed this one. But then I will say though, in the beta, in the April beta, there was no auto pathing, but now there will be auto pathing according to one of the newsletters. Right now, how the auto combat system, how that works right now is that it just presses random buttons for you. Like it casts random skills, and you don't even you don't even like move around that much. Like you only move like a couple inches if like a mob is like kind of close to you, but then if no mob is close to you, you don't move at all. So it's not like a full auto play. It's just literally what it says, auto combat. It presses random buttons for you. But they've expanded it a little bit, and they have it. They said it according to the newsletter that they want to have it to where some skills aren't like gonna be casted. Like the auto system will ignore using some of the skills. I think expanding it at all is pretty bad. I feel like it should just be as simple as possible, because it is truly a controversial thing. I mean, we've seen it in like Throne of Liberty, how Westerner players like they don't like it. They don't like auto like combat anything. So while it's not like auto play where it just like full on tries to find enemies for you, it's still auto combat, so which is still kind of bad, but at least it's not like gonna trivialize any of the raids. Like it's 100% not gonna trivialize any raids. But then just hearing that like it's gonna be, you know, updated a little bit, some people might get the wrong impression, is what I'm saying. Like people that aren't gonna talk to other people or like listen in on the stream to hear that, you know, the auto combat is not that important for like really hard content or like actual dungeons. But then like yeah, it's just not good. I think. But then they did say that a lot of the AFK rewards that you can get is gonna be minimized, and the only thing that you would really use this on is field bosses, since with field bosses you pretty much just stand there for like several minutes spamming buttons. You don't really think that much, so it allows people to actually farm field bosses, which is important thing to do every day. Question 11, regarding the Western server structure, will it be split into regions, or can we expect a single mega server where everyone can play together? We've heard much feedback on this matter, and we completely agree that players should play together. That was simple and straight to the point. I liked it. While physical distance creates technical challenges, we are actively working towards a mega server solution and hope to deliver satisfying results. So yeah, this kind of talks about Kova's question regarding the infrastructure, but we don't know how they're gonna implement it yet. This says that they're thinking about it and they're trying to work towards a solution, but we don't know yet. We don't know how that's gonna work. Can we fight the Chief Bandit? You definitely can. Question 12, which languages will be supported at the game's release, and do you intend to support more languages in the future? At launch, we'll support English localization with Japanese voiceovers. We're currently working hard on localization QA to ensure Western players get the best first impression. Additional languages may come based on player feedback. We welcome your suggestions. So yeah, unfortunately for those that love dubbed, the less than 10% of people that love dubbed, I'd imagine, there will not be any English voiceovers. But I mean, the Japanese voiceover, the Japanese voiceovers, it's a pretty big roster. A lot of popular voice actors in this in Star Resonance. Question 13, will a housing system be available at the game's release? If so, what features can players expect? We have good news for those who love to decorate their places. The housing system will be available at launch. Oh wait, that's really good. Payne, thanks for stopping by. Yep, you did hear it, and thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. Players can claim their own homestead at no additional cost, which consists of 2 parts, an island and a house, both exclusively for the player's use. So like Lost Ark, right? That's pretty much what that is. It's an island and a house. Players can invite up to 4 friends to cohabitate, 5 people total, and manage the house together. The system offers high freedom of customization. Things like building partition walls, arranging furnishing, and more will be possible. The house also includes farming features where grown crops, you didn't hear what was I about to say, can be sold to merchants for housing currency to be exchanged for furniture and other items. Additionally, some furnitures can be crafted through life skills. That's cool. Those are some nice features, you know, just more like casual activities to do with friends. So I wonder if you can invite more people into your house that isn't cohabitating with you. It seems like you can, and then this is like an entirely separate system where you can assign 4 friends to manage your house, and then you can probably just keep inviting more people into the house. To garner some clarity, although Bakura is handling the development for the most part, Bandai still has some level of input. Would that be right? Okay. So yeah. So I asked someone about it. They're pretty knowledgeable in with the development of Star Resistance. Yeah, so Bandai does have some level of input for how things are going for the game, but we don't really hear much about from Bandai. But then they are involved in the whole process of this. I mean, this is really cool. I do like how this is like a whole social system that you can do with your friends, and then you can sell it for housing currency, it seems, and then you get furniture. So you're pretty much doing work to make your house look better. I think this is what I got. Oh, cool. Question 14. The website already shows the silhouette of a class using a guitar. I wonder what that is, guys. Maybe we've seen that in the trailer, which might be available at release. Do you plan to add more classes to the game? If so, at what intervals? Correct. The guitarist class will be available at launch. Is that the confirmed name of the class? I'm pretty sure. I think it is, since this is from the from Roy, from Bakura. They also come with 2 styles. One has more DPS abilities that make it easier to solo in the open world. The other one specializes in support with strong healing and buffing abilities. As for future classes, we surely have plans to add more classes post-launch. Stay tuned for updates. Based on the article, it appears that many of the concerns players have had are addressed. Yeah, 100%. In addition to that, the changes between OG, BP, and SR are all night and day. It honestly feels like a realm reborn for BP. I've been trying to say that. I mean, maybe not in my review. If you guys remember my review, I accidentally called it Star Resistance Rebirth, I think, which is I mean, the message was still there, but I didn't word it right. But yeah, I've pretty much been saying that it is like what happened with Final Fantasy 14. I mean, there still are probably issues in this game. Let's not forget about that. But then they definitely made huge leaps in making the game a lot better. Like Bakura, they've been on like time crunch since I think April or May. Like with how like you saw like in the live stream in May 15th, they were up at like 10 p.m. their time still live streaming. They go like 10 or 13 hours a day working, I think. Somewhere around that. They work as long as some of the like tryhards play the game for like 12 plus hours a day. You don't have a lot of people, small team. I don't know. I don't know what qualifies as a small team in their eyes. I think because of what I've seen right in that picture, like that's like 100 plus people. I think that's still kind of big. I don't know. 100 plus is a solid number for devs, similar to how many Lost Ark had. I'm actually not sure how many Lost Ark has, but then yeah, I know that Lost Ark isn't their team isn't like massive, like Blizzard massive, but I'm not actually aware of how big they are. Don't need sleep. I don't need sleep. I took a nap. I woke up at like 10:50 p.m. It is 6 a.m. right now. We're probably gonna be up until like 10 p.m. again. Or unless you mean someone else. I mean, the devs, they're definitely not sleeping. They probably sleep like 4 hours a day. Question 15. You recently revealed that the game will have controller support. Does this mean there are plans to release the game on consoles in the future? Will it be playable on the Steam Deck? Oh boy, this is a big question. There's been like I've been reading all sorts of social media platforms, and every day I've always seen without fail someone asking about like something related to controllers, like is it going to be released on controllers or consoles, sorry. Will the game be released on consoles? Will the game have controller support, etc.? They did reveal the controller support, that there will be controller support. We are implementing controller support starting with mainstream models with plans to expand compatibility. Regards consoles and Steam Deck, while we have nothing certain to announce yet, I'll say we are open to all possibilities. So yeah, what that means is don't expect it anytime soon, unfortunately. But you know, maybe down the line they'll add some kind of console release. All right, question 16. We're almost there, guys. Based on the Chinese beta test, it seems that character customization options, as well as the variety of costumes and accessories in the game, were very limited. And we expect more options in these areas for the Western release. If so, what additional options can players look forward to? This one, I don't know. I don't know if this would be like a huge question because it's the Chinese beta, right? It's a beta test. Why are you expecting so much cosmetics to be in a beta test? You should just expect there to be more and more customizations down the line where they keep adding more and more cosmetics and customizations to your character model just over time. I think in my opinion, I thought that the amount of costumes and accessories in the game was pretty good for a beta test, but I don't know, maybe they were limited. We're continuously adding more outfits and cosmetics, including mix and match pieces to allow players to express themselves however they want, while the core customization categories will remain the same. We'll add more options for players to choose from, more eye shapes, hairstyles, etc. So yeah, they basically said what I'm suggesting is that, you know, as more time goes on, I mean, there'll be more newer outfits and stuff, while also having, like, you know, all the older cosmetics already in the game. Just hope it won't die in 1 year like BP. It's definitely not gonna die in 1 year. From what I've seen in BP and experience, like it's what I've seen and experienced in both OG and SR. SR will definitely survive more than 1 year. What was I gonna add to this? Well, continuously add more outfits and cosmetics, allow players to express themselves as they want. All core customization categories will remain the same. See, this is what I don't like about this one though. So you're a little bit more limited to how many cosmetic pieces that you can put on your character. Like, for example, there used to be like these like cat or like dog ears that you would put on your character, right? And then you can also attach like a hat, similar to like my PNG avatar, where it has like the ears attached to the hat. You can do that in regular OG Blue Protocol, but then in Star Resonance, the ears are actually just a hat piece, so you can't like overlap certain cosmetic pieces anymore, which kind of sucks. I hope they improve that to make it more familiar to those that played like OG Blue Protocol. I mean it's also kind of like how PSO has it too, right? Where you're able to just overlap a bunch of random stuff on your character and it just looks goofy, but it's cool that that's a thing. Yeah, I hope they do improve on that. That used to be a big thing for customization back in old school Blue Protocol. But besides that, yeah, I mean there is a lot of there will be a lot of cosmetics and accessories. We just have to wait. But honestly, their lineup is actually more bigger than old school Blue Protocol. Like, regular Blue Protocol had way less outfits and cosmetics at release, versus here they have so many different kinds of outfits. Like, I think they're in one of the feedback letters, they said they're nearing like 100 different kinds of like different cosmetics. I think that's already pretty big for just launch. You can trade you can trade some cosmetics. Some of the gacha ones you can trade, but I believe all of the cash shop ones and all the ones that you earn in game are the ones that you cannot trade. But the gacha ones you can trade it via the auction house. Yeah, that's a good distinction. No direct trading there, but you can trade it in the auction house. And question 17: Are there any plans to make a character creator available before the game's release, allowing players to take their time creating a character in advance? We also believe this is a good idea, and a character creation code system on the client side has been developed. The function needs to still be tested, but it's very possible. Okay, that's awesome. People don't want to spend like half an hour customizing their character when everyone's just trying to rush out the door day one in global. So yeah, that's really nice. Question 18. Oh, and if you guys don't know, the character creation code, it's pretty much gonna work, from what it says here, it's pretty much gonna work the same way as it did in China, where you have like a code that you can copy and paste it on newly created characters. before you select your like class. So that's nice. I think they'll let us preview fits. Yeah. There's also like a preview outfits in the character creation. You can share character presets with each other. Yeah, you can do that. So question 18, the community is eager to test and play the game in the West as soon as possible. Can you provide any hints or teasers about future tests or release date? We're preparing the global beta as of right now. Having seen China players enjoy to test, we know fans all over the world are excited to try Blue Protocol Star Residence. Well, I can't share exact dates yet. The wait won't be much longer. Soon, guys. Remember the social post. It is soon. My guess, expect something related to global beta sometime this month. If they're gonna commit to what they're saying to the global beta coming soon, then it's most likely gonna be in July when you're gonna hear something about it. If it's not July, then it's not soon, and they lied. But surely they're not gonna lie about it, right? Social post in like 4 hours. I don't think the social post is gonna have it. No, I think that's too soon. But who knows? They better not release this in September or November. Why not? Because the thing is the problem with releasing it sooner than September is that there won't be that much time between the beta and launch. Since for example, if they release, because my prediction is that there's going to be a beta late July, like we're going to be able to literally play global beta late July, right? The beta is going to be like 2 or 3 weeks long because they want you guys to also like test out the time gates. They don't want to just shorten the time gates and give the wrong impression. That's something like Chrono Odyssey would probably do, honestly. If I'm they'd give some like they'll do something silly like that. But then for like a good first impression, like you want to have like a honest I'm dying here, guys. You want to have a honest experience going into it. So they're probably going to keep the time gates in place. So that means that the beta is going to have to last at least a couple weeks so you guys can experience all the systems, since a lot of the systems are locked behind a time gate. So that includes important ones like the inlay, the gem system, modules, those kinds of things. Those are like way later on in release. Not a fan of time gates while you live with it. That's what many people say. They say that when they haven't played it, but believe me and others that played the game, I think they do a really good job. I don't think there has been a single complaint or that many complaints at all, really. Probably like a small percentage of players that have problems with the time gate. Like everyone has been saying that they have done a really good job with the time gate. But you're just gonna have to experience that for yourself and have your opinion on it. The gem system? Yeah, there's a gem system. Is the story time gated too bad? No, it's really not. Like it's time gated, but it's server time gated. So it if you're like a new player, you won't really be behind, and also there's also catch up mechanics in the game as well. So you're able to just kind of catch up, not entirely, but you're able to like get more, for example, more EXP. I trust that they did it really well. You guys just have to experience what we're talking about, because right now it just sounds like we're a bunch of crazy people. We're all paid actors by Bakura to say that time gate is good. Like I don't like Crystal of Atlan's time gate. I think it's bad. That's awful. It's nothing like Crystal of Atlan. Question 19. Is there another question? Oh no, there's no more questions. I thought there's 20 questions. Question 19. Can we expect more regular opportunities like this, both before and after the game's release, for the community to provide feedback and ask questions? Additionally, will there be future developer live streams for the Western audience in English or with subtitles? Yes, we have developer talks for English fans planned. Other programs like developer live streams are possible. Stay tuned for more. I think that's a good way to end it off. Yeah, there will definitely be more. They'll provide more feedback, and there will be more opportunities for the community to provide feedback and ask questions. Like I know a lot of you don't really follow the China development, but there's been so much like talk amongst the devs and the community. Stuff like the news, they do like a lot of newsletters, they do a lot of live streams, they do a lot of like Q&As, interviews. They communicate so much versus a lot of other MMOs out there, other MMO developers. So I think they do a really good job in terms of communication. I think that was like that's a really big problem back in old Blue Protocol, where there wasn't really that much communication amongst the community and the dev team. It was just like one live stream every like month or like every other month, and that was it. And then like, especially like before the game was even released, like the devs for OG BP, they're just radio silent. They're like, okay, if the game's there, the game's there. we'll talk to you guys when we're done. So they're like miles ahead of what old school BP had to deal with. I think that's really good. I mean, again, I think their like communication improved, just like how, you know, all the like the gameplay aspects have pretty much improved. Well, most of them anyways. I think some of them, like the combat being a little bit too simple, might turn off some people at first, but then again, it's really important that combat is simple, because for a long-term like health, you would want casual players to actually get into the game easily rather than like struggle learning how to play their class. I mean, it's just like FF14, where the main difficulty is going to come from the raids, and then there will also still be like some difficulty managing your rotations for DPS class, but it's not going to be that difficult. But there is still like a ceiling to achieve in dungeons, 100%.